Everything in life is a negotiation. And in today's video, we're going to look at how you can negotiate like the head hostage negotiator at the FBI. What is up, everybody? So today we're looking at Never Split the Difference by Criss Voss. So as I just mentioned, Criss Voss was the head hostage negotiator at the FBI. He was actually in that position for, I believe, over 20 years, and now he owns his own consulting firm and teaches business executives how to negotiate better. And he really starts the book by painting the picture of splitting the difference, which is what you normally do in negotiation. We'll kind of make concessions and everyone reach a deal that we're all okay with. Well, you can't do that if you're a hostage negotiator. He kind of makes the joke that if the hostage negotiator the hostage taker has 4 hostages and wants $1 million in a helicopter, you can't be like, well, just kill 2 of the hostages and we'll give you $500,000. Obviously, that's not how it works. And so he had to use his skills to get everything he wanted out of his counterpart while still building a great relationship with them. Because that's how you get a murderer or a terrorist to give up hostages, is by building rapport with them very quickly. So there's 10 steps, 10 chapters in this book that build you into being a better negotiator. The first one is that you have to listen. You have to be an active listener. That second step is actually repeating back to them what they're saying and mirroring what they're saying. And then you're going to be finding out their problems and actually labeling them. So the first part of negotiation is actually discovering what the other side really wants. Because if you can find out what they really want, oftentimes you can give them what they want without having to give up what you want. And when you really know that you're making progress, you'll actually get to a point where they are saying no. Because oftentimes you'll get fake yeses throughout a negotiation, especially when you hear the sales guy, "Do you like drinking water?" And you're like, "Yes," even though you really want to say no. "Do you like your water to be more clean?" And you're like, "Yes." "Well, then you should buy blah. Well, then will you buy blah, blah, blah?" And it's this, ridiculous scripted thing. And you may say yes, but you have no intention of ever buying this crap. But if you find a situation where you can actually get them to say no, then you're finding the problems and you can solve those problems and move forward in the negotiation. The fifth step, or the fifth chapter, is actually getting that person to say that's right. Once they use the word that's right, they're not just trying to get you to be quiet anymore by saying, "Oh, you're right, sure." They've actually bought into what you're saying and you guys really agree. So you know that you really agree when the other side uses the words that's right. Chapter 6 is all about bending reality. And these are using extreme anchors or different psychological tricks to put yourself in the best position. For example, if you go to a car dealership, oftentimes the cars are priced really high, much higher than what they necessarily want to get. And this is because they're setting that extreme anchor. If they really want to sell the car for $40,000, they can list it for $45,000 or $50,000, and you think you're getting a deal if you buy it at $40,000 or even more. The 7th chapter is all about leading people to your decision, but making them think that they've led themselves there. So by using questions, leading questions and things like that, you can get to what you want, but the other person will think that it's their decision. For example, if you're going into a store and you want to purchase something and you describe what you want, then the employee is going to feel like they have led you to this. They're now invested in your success. It would be the same situation with kind of getting a mentor, or if you're talking to someone, instead of asking directly for the position you want, to describe that position, allow them to choose it for you, and then now they're invested in your success. Chapter 8 talks about how yes is useless without how. And Chapter 8, he really talks about how you need to get the details ironed out before you leave. You need to make sure that you don't just have an empty yes, but you actually have the hows, the logistics, and all the other people who are involved. They need to be on board for that decision. Chapter 9, you're down to that last stage of bargaining. When you guys have decided on your position, your title, most of the stuff related to your job, but you want $75,000 and they want to pay you $70,000. He describes a system where you can pretty much get to your exact number that you want while thinking that while leaving them thinking that they have gotten the best deal possible. And it's just using different metrics. And then finally, a good tip is to end on an odd specific number, because they will feel that you have really calculated that out. And then finally, the 10th chapter, and this is actually what he named his consulting group. It's all about the black swan. So the idea of a black swan back in England, a long time ago, they'd never seen a black swan. So black swan was stereotypical for something that just cannot happen. And then someone in like the 16 or 1700s traveled to another part of the world, found a black swan, and now like reality is shattered. So the black swan is the idea of you don't know what you don't know. And in a negotiation, the black swan is those things that are controlling, and they're critical controlling points in the negotiation, but they're things you would never think about. So for example, one of my good friends is making a good amount of money. He already got his starting job offer, and I would really like to make at least that much money. Now that's not necessarily logical. That is just a little like pride point for me, and we're competitive in a positive way. But my company won't necessarily know that when I go in, and so I have this pretty hard set price at what I want to earn. That's not based on any logic or anything. It's just based off what a friend who's not even working in the same type of engineering market is going to make. But if they were to know that, then suddenly they would understand a much deeper motivation for me. Oftentimes, black swans can be religious. They can come from many different areas. But if you're asking good questions throughout the negotiation process, you're going to be able to uncover these things that totally radically shift the leverage of the negotiation in your favor. And it takes a lot of experience, and this is years into your negotiating. But once you really get to that point of being able to discover black swans, you become an expert negotiator. So this book was honestly jam-packed full of useful information about negotiating, about working with other people, about building empathy, building rapport. But there are 3 key takeaways here that I really want to hammer home. They're things that are important to me. They're going to help me out. I think they could help you guys out as well. So the first one is that everything in life is a negotiation. And it really is. If you think about the interactions you have throughout your day where you want something and somebody else wants something else, and you've got to find a way to come to a conclusion. Think about how much better your life would be if you were just better at that. And one of the things he focuses on in this book, it's not that you are just trying to win that individual negotiation. Because let's say you're a stellar negotiator and you can always clean someone's clock in the boardroom. Like you take all their money that they have and you barely give them anything in return. Well, people are going to stop playing the game with you. They're going to stop negotiating with you. So, maybe you're super charismatic and you can take advantage of people. That's not what he's preaching in this book. It's a long-term, it's an empathy-building process, and you're always trying to get as much as you can, but you're trying to get things that don't necessarily cost them as much. For example, he talked about how one time he took a radically reduced fee to do a consulting gig because they put him on the cover of a magazine that they owned. So the company he was working for put them on the cover of their magazine. That's free for them, free advertising for him, and then they got a reduced price. So it was, everyone won in that scenario, but it was because of out-of-the-box thinking, not just him doing a great job negotiating and taking advantage of that company. The second key takeaway is you want to build as much empathy and rapport as quickly as possible in a negotiation. You might only have 10 or 15 minutes or less for these negotiation scenarios, but if you can build a lot of empathy and a lot of connection with the person very quickly, you're going to be able to be in a situation where you're no longer competing, but you're actually cooperating together to find the best solution for everyone. And the third key takeaway, which is something I'm really trying to apply in my life, is to get comfortable with the hard parts of negotiation. No one likes to haggle over prices. No one likes to ask for extra things or ask for a deal. It's very uncomfortable for us. We want to be nice people and we don't want to take advantage of other people. But if you practice negotiating, you will get so much better at it, and it will pay dividends throughout your life. You're going to be paying less for your cars, less for your houses. You're going to be able to go on dates with more attractive people, et cetera, because you're going to be able to create better situations every time you're negotiating with someone. So the final part to this video is who I believe should read this book. And I think it's most important for people who are uncomfortable with negotiation, especially if you're young. You probably didn't negotiate for things throughout your life. Maybe you negotiated a little bit with your parents, but for the most part, college age, high school age people, they just accept the first offer that's given to them by a company. They pay whatever price the car costs. And I think most people, especially Americans, don't understand that, you can negotiate a lot of things and you can make your life better and other people's lives better by, trying something new, asking for a better deal, asking for a discount, and just get comfortable with that. So this book allows you to, gives you tools and tactics to kind of say, oh, wait, I can do this. Something as simple as the guy's name is Chris, and sometimes when he goes into a store, if they don't have any discounts, he goes, well, hi, I'm Chris. What's the Chris discount? He says it with a smile, and you get a laugh and maybe a discount from these retailers. So I think the book is really important for anyone who's not comfortable with negotiation, because negotiation is important. It's going to be a big part of everyone's life. Especially, I think if you're a college student like me and you're about to get that first job offer, I know people who have gotten job offers in the same industry at literally half of the salary of other people. And it had less to do with their skill and more to do with their ability to negotiate. If you're uncomfortable in negotiation, or you're in college, or you're young, and most Americans are, you should definitely check out Never Split the Difference by Criss Voss. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, learned a little bit, and can become better negotiators, better people. And as I always say, if reading is knowledge and knowledge is power, then reading is power. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with your friends so we can get a little more reading going on in this world and get everybody a little bit more excited about reading. Thank you guys so much. Bye.